Hy-Vee is warning customers about a data breach involving some of its payment processing systems. The investigation focuses on credit card payments at Hy-Vee restaurants, fuel pumps, and drive-through coffee shops. The company does not believe it involves payment systems inside its grocery stores, drugstores, and convenience stores. Hy-Vee uses encryption technology for processing transactions inside those stores. Unauthorized activity was discovered in late July. The company is still trying to determine if any data was actually accessed. In the meantime, Hy-Vee is urging its customers to monitor their financial accounts. Hy-Vee also says it is taking steps that it believes will prevent future breaches. It intends to notify customers when it can determine specific timeframes and locations that may have been breached. Israel is now blocking local Congresswoman Ilhan Omar's planned visit to the country scheduled for this weekend. The Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, who earlier had approved the visit, reversed course. Netanyahu cited Omar's vote in the U.S. House against a resolution that condemned a boycott movement against Israel. Omar, who is Muslim, says the vote was done to pressure Israel economically to improve its treatment of Palestinians. Omar released a statement Thursday afternoon saying, "Denying entry into Israel not only limits our ability to learn from Israelis, but also to enter Palestinian territories." We'll post her full statement on our website, ccxmedia.org. Brooklyn Park residents are weighing in on plans to convert Highway 252 into a freeway. MnDOT is studying a 3.5-mile stretch of 252 from Highway 610 in Brooklyn Park to I-694 in Brooklyn Center. MnDOT would remove stoplights and build on off-ramps. It's also considering creating MnPass lanes, which are reserved for carpools and solo drivers who pay a fee. Drivers we spoke with say the freeway conversion is badly needed.
Why is it needed? Because of the accidents that occur on 252. I think that's extremely important to reduce that.
The goal in using MnPass to do this would be to reduce congestion, as well as number one priority is increasing safety on the corridor.
According to crash data, 5 of the most crash-prone intersections in the state are on Highway 252. The timeline for the project is still uncertain, but construction could begin in 2023 and last 2 years. A Maple Grove family wants to spread awareness of a rare genetic disorder after losing a baby boy 4 years ago. Reporter Pafua Yang sat down with the family, who told her it's become their life purpose.
This one's need to go up.
Yeah.
For the Koch family, being together brings the most treasured moments.
You got a lot of trucks.
Mom, Dad, and 3-year-old Grayson.
Isn't that a canopy?
Grayson is awaiting a younger brother, while his family shares memories of his older one.
Aiden was born March 30th of 2014. He was our first child.
All I can remember is just this kind of big eyes, big smile, and the part that really is unique about him is really laid back.
For the first 9 months, Aiden appeared to be a healthy, happy boy, but that suddenly took a turn.
Crying all night, uncomfortable, throwing up, throwing his head back.
Shortly after Aiden's first birthday, he was diagnosed with mitochondrial DNA depletion.
So it was just completely foreign to us.
Mitochondrial disease is a genetic disorder that fails to produce enough energy for the body to function. Symptoms can include poor growth, muscle weakness, and seizures. Nick says Aiden was the 46th case ever recorded in the world.
There is no treatment. It's uncurable.
Only 6 days after Aiden's diagnosis, he lost his battle.
He's highly impacted us and made us better people. And he's still doing that even now with us.
Because now, Brianna and Nick are active in helping those affected by the disease. The couple plans to participate in the Energy for Life Walkathon this Saturday in Bloomington.
We want it to be bigger because then we know we have more support.
The event is organized by the United Mitochondrial Disease Foundation. It's aimed to fund research and potential cures.
The things that we would have done with Aiden, these are our moments with him.
I'm gonna put it on back.
In Maple Grove, Pafua Yang, CCX News.
For more information on the walk, you can go to our website at ccxmedia.org. Wednesday was the penultimate day for summer campers in Brooklyn Park, and recreation staff made it a special one. World Fair Day started off with some costumes, singing, then a dance-off. But the central theme was learning about other cultures. As part of that, kids from Japan and China who have been spending the summer at a camp in Minneapolis were invited to share their culture with the kids in Brooklyn Park. Staff says days like this are especially important in this city.
The community that we live in is made up of so many different cultures, and it's important to us to celebrate the differences among our campers and our staff and in our community.
Gillard says she hopes campers come away with a sense of curiosity about other cultures. It is National City Hall Selfie Day, and Brooklyn Park is getting in on the action. The event in front of City Hall offered not only internet fame, but coffee and donuts as well. A number of people came by and took selfies. The best one in the city will win some BP swag, and there's a national contest too. If you want to see more selfies from the city, search the hashtag #WeAreBrooklynPark.
The first week of practice always brings excitement for high school athletes. In today's prep football training camp report, we visit a Champlin Park team ready to build on a 7-win season.
It's a little easier the second time around. Even with a winning record for the Champlin Park football team last fall, second-year head coach Nick Keenan and his players say this summer's workouts and practices have flowed more smoothly.
I've built relationships, with those kids throughout the year, so it's much easier to talk to them and just everything that way, just being around a year. Yeah, much easier.
Coaches and players are excited about the potential and talent for the Rebels' first team offense and defense.
Our first group of guys, both offensively and defensively, we're pretty strong. Depth, it could be an issue. But, I'm expecting defensively, we have some guys that are athletic. Offensively, we're returning some linemen, which they were all new last year. So, we're going to probably run the ball more than we did last year.
I think there's a lot of potential, especially the upcoming sophomores, because a lot of athletes in there. And there's a lot of returning starters, too, on offense and defense, too.
A veteran offensive line is back for the Rebels, led by big tackle Mood Jihad. Jace Miller is a good quarterback who saw time at the position last season. Running back Sean Shipman leads the way for a ground game that should be better this fall. Brock Johnson is a returning wide receiving threat. Cole Fredrickson will see the field on both sides of the ball at defensive end and tight end. Anakin Yang is another solid player who will line up on the defensive line, while Obi Avalechi is the latest on a long line of outstanding linebackers at Champlin Park. While the Rebels' regular season is similar, they do add Rosemount and Maple Grove to the schedule.
I've never played at Rosemount. I've never played them in any sport, I don't think, so I'm excited to see what they have, what athletes they have. I remember going to the games as kids at Maple Grove, and that was always fun in the stands, so I'm excited to be on the field during that.
Here's the story on the Rebels. Champlin Park finished 7-3 in 2018 in Nick Keenan's first year as head coach. 8 starters in all are back. The Rebels open the season at home in 2 weeks, August 29th against East Ridge. We're in the middle of August, and there's still plenty of time to get out on a Minnesota lake this summer and do a little fishing. Here's Terry Tuma with this week's fishing tip on catching summer sunfish.
So often we think these big monster summer sunfish are not able to be caught, which is not true. We have to look in places where there's some cabbage, coontail, like an edge of a deep weed line. Humps are one of our favorite spots, sunken islands, and many times even pockets in some of the deep weeds, and even on the inside edge. And what works very, very well, of course, is using a bobber system with a leech or a crawler, and a piece of a crawler. But with a leech, too, we get so hung up on these panfish leeches, and do consider using at least medium to even large leeches, these big sunfish have no problem eating that. And then when you're fishing with a bobber system, when you cast out, just don't leave it sit there. What you want to do is just go ahead and cast it out, and then you want to sort of twitch it back. You know, cast it to a certain spot, and then you're going to want to move it constantly. Just provide some action to that leech. Also, too, what works very, very well instead of a colored hook is using hair jigs and tube jigs. All are extremely, extremely productive underneath the bobber system or vertical jigging for these fish in deeper water. Also, too, what I have some success with is using number 6 or number 8 long shank hooks with a half a crawler and no bobber system, and sort of vertical jigging with your proper lead weight, your spit shot, and vertical jig. Give it a try. Big sunfish are catchable in the summertime.
Thanks, Terry. And that is all for sports. More news after this.